Okay, are we back? I think we are back. Yeah, everything's working fine there. Are we back? I think we are now working again. I don't know what happened there. YouTube did something strange. That was a bit bizarre. I do apologize. Yeah, seems to be fine. Very odd. Sorry about that, folks. Technical difficulties. Just seems to be one of those things that every YouTuber gets eventually. Yes, hello everyone. Sorry about all that. Something broke somewhere. You started a true Jurassic Park today and based your Bratco Aloe exhibit off the San Diego Safari Zone, having a hotel overlook the valley. That's a pretty nice feature. Right. So this is going to be kind of like our entrance plaza, as it were. And then we're going to have 2 exits, basically, for the park. So there's going to be an exit here and an exit here. So just going to draw them in. So guests will leave this side. Guests will also leave on this side. And the entrance will be, proper entrance to the park will basically be here. I think that's enough car parking space. Maybe we can just like squeeze another one in. Down here. Maybe we can make this one like a coach parking or something. I can never understand why realism is important. We should be building with fun, not stress. Well, Dinosaur King... Part of the point of building with realism is to create a park that functions, as opposed to a park that is just a mass of stuff. One of the biggest problems with Jurassic World Evolution 2 is that it doesn't really feel like the park would function in reality, and it's an interesting challenge. You know, the whole point is to challenge ourselves to build something that could actually work. Right, so this here is going to be our cargo area. So what we're going to have here is that everything coming in or out of the park comes in and out of the park through here. Now, I don't think we need gates here, because we've already got a gate, but I do think we need to extend the perimeter wall. I think we can extend it to about there. I think that should do. Taking logistics into account can be fun, yes. I mean, I've always enjoyed logistics them up. Do we have a fence that could pass for... That could pass for like a sort of industrial estate sort of fence. So let's put that in there. There we go. So, what's the first thing that we need in a cargo area? Like, what's the first thing that you would expect to encounter? Probably some sort of, like, gatehouse or something, wouldn't you? So, what could we build that could pass for a gatehouse? I mean, I'm thinking something like the restroom or something like it. I don't think there are any buildings in decorations. Let's have a look. I mean, that passes off just as like more of a general cargo building. That really. That's a dino. That really can't pass. Hang on. Ooh, I forgot about these gates. Gas station. Oh, there's quite a few buildings down here, which might be useful, actually. Okay, hold on. Okay, I think we need to put in these gates. Ah, yeah, there's some proper gates somewhere. Hang on. Let's get rid of this fence. Don't worry, Berenson, you didn't miss that much. That's what I want. It's going to be a little bit bigger than the road. Unless we make the road bigger. Nah. There are tolerances here, so let's... We can put that in as our gatehouse. Or gate and gatehouse. That's fine. And I do think there are some more concrete pieces we can then use. Yes. So let's put you there. There you go. And just for that little bit of extra security, and also just to deal with the weirdness of the additional heights. Just going to put in some taller fencing. Okay. I'm a bit happier with that. I often use that fence type to contain storage containers and stuff like that. Yeah, I think it works well as a sort of generic fence type. Actually, you know what you should do? You should get some friends and play D&D. It might be fun. Funnily enough, I do run a D&D style campaign. It's a game system I've invented myself from scratch. And we have a Fallout style one to start when I can. One of the difficulties with doing that is, like, if we were to do it as videos for the channel, is it requires a lot of like video filming equipment and stuff. So but I don't know, maybe we can figure that problem out at some point. But that definitely might be a future project. Right, so I think it would be handy for us to sort of figure out what buildings we want down here. This one definitely would work quite nicely. Have we got some other, like, we got some other generic like buildings? I think we can get away with having 2 of those down here. I think something like a gas station as well would work well down here. Is that a stop sign? That is. I think that would work well. Yeah. So I think this area can be divided off into like incoming cargo and maybe outgoing. I think is probably a good idea. You'll want warehouses for sure. That's true. I mean, these I think we could get away with as having as warehouses, but I think also we can have a lot of like external storage as well. So these little, there's a move function in here, isn't there? Yeah, these little buildings, I think we can start with having them first. I'm just going to fill this in because this is just like going to be the generic road color, so it doesn't really matter. Oops. And we can have this one as just like one of those additional gatehouses. Yeah, I think that works. And then we will place some... Why can't I zoom in for placing bollards? One of the really annoying traits of this game, not being able to zoom in to place stuff down. Okay. And we have a bollarded off bit. And I think we can put another one of these down in here. Trying to think about just like how to lay this out. I feel like these big buildings should be roughly in the center. I feel like a kind of like a H pattern to it. Yeah, and then we can have like, because they've got big bay doors on, don't they? So we can have like an external cargo between them. Okay. Both foot and driven, yes. I mean, like I say, there's going to have to be obviously some tolerances here. But as long as it's, you know, it has the general gist of what we're going for. Okay. Also, obviously, we've got to leave some room for like vegetation and stuff. So I'm thinking maybe we can have like a back road here. And then we can make this like a bigger cargo bit. These gates are always so big. I really don't like how big the Jurassic Park gates are. Just always so huge. It just always feels like really unnecessary. Much rather prefer something like this. Oh, that's almost perfect. That's so frustrating. Okay. Let's use the L-shaped one, but we'll move the others. It's close, but it'll do. Why does it always have to be an island? Let's see a scenario where the creatures come to the people. They're on the mainland. Yeah, so let's actually have a general discussion. We got the plot synopsis for Rebirth, which I stand by. Sounds like the grossest title I've ever heard. Like Rebirth. It's just like ugh. Yeah, but we got the plot synopsis for it the other day. I'm just not impressed. Like, no part of it is sounding like it's going to be remotely decent. Yeah, underwhelming is probably a really good word for it. It's definitely underwhelming. And kind of illogical. I don't understand the logic of releasing the dinosaurs onto the mainland only to then like go back on that idea and be like, oh no, actually they can't survive in our environment and they're all dying. I'm like, so Dominion was pointless then, right? Is that what we're saying here? That there was just basically no point to having the dinosaurs be released onto the mainland in Dominion? That's annoying. That's just about manageable. I think that's fine. Dominion and Fallen Kingdom were always pointless. Well, yeah, I mean, that is a that is a kind of like something I feel as well personally, that those movies were also a bit pointless. I'm seeing these as like areas where you might want to have like cargo carrying cranes and stuff parked up. In there, they can unload in there. I think this. I think I want to have it. Maybe here? Yeah. And we can have like a couple of other. Like smaller buildings. Okay, this is a little bit more what I want. I'm also aware we need to think about like where rubbish is going. So we've got like cargo storage, stuff coming in. Like refueling and stuff. Thinking if we continue this wall out and we can have like I'm also thinking about how staff are getting to the park. Because if that's the staff car park, we kind of need like a staff monorail or something, don't we? Shall ponder that one. Just another excuse to have them on another island. Yeah, I agree with what I agree with you, Kairu. Like the whole the dinosaurs can't survive in our land just seems to be an excuse to have them on an island again. And it's not a particularly well thought out excuse either, I have to say. Since we can pretty much all see through it. Oh, I probably... which way around was that? Yeah, no, that's what I want. Something like that. Actually, I think it makes sense... Oh, okay. I think I've mucked that up slightly. Let's move these around a bit. So... we've got, like, truck, petrol station... like here, and I want there to be like a sheltered stopping area. Okay. I'm kind of like the idea of having some area around the back of this building for like maintaining the vehicles. It's ever so slightly annoying. Bugger. You need to keep up to ZA standards. Yeah, so we have something similar over here in this country. Obviously, the standards for like zoos and stuff. I'm tempted to try to stick to those. I just don't know how like doable it's going to be, considering I think those standards are going to be very difficult to keep to. But we can try. Like, more than happy to give it a go. No, I don't mind that. That's acceptable to me. We can hide that or do something with that. That's decent enough. Okay. So... obviously, this is all going to be like major hardcore cargo container, storage. This bit is going to take time. I think we'll have like one or two that are like open. I really liked this, which I did for one of my parks, the mod testing park. Just like create like bridges and tunnels with the cargo containers. Plus for stacking them. Well, yeah, I mean, if you're going to have cargo containers, you've got to stack them. It's the whole reason for their being, isn't it? Like, they have to be stacked. And I think it's safe to imagine that a proper dinosaur park, you'd be talking about a lot of cargo containers. I'm also going to put a crane in here. Where is the cargo crane? There we are. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of room for it to move around in here, so I think that's fine. I think that's probably as full as you'd get for that area for cargo containers. This one back here we'll use for like boxes. This one we'll put up on the tops. Three-point deduction for using mods. Well, the problem is you can't do anything like this without them. So if you want to have an interesting sort of setup like this, you're going to have to use mods. And not to put too fine of a point on it, I am sick to death of the mod hate that this game gets. I don't understand. Like, Discord can be really... not Discord, Reddit can be really rabid with the amount of folks that do not like mod content for this game being shown off. I don't understand why. Everyone was happy to mod Jurassic World Evolution 1. I think that's how I'm happy with that amount there. What should we put down in here? I suppose we need... So, I just realised that as well as cargo coming into the park and staff... So we need a way for staff to get into the park. We've got the cargo bit. We also need... like the ACU. Like the Center for Asset Control, which will obviously have all the cages and stuff. Hmm. No, for the console gamers, I do feel sorry for them having to play this on console, because let's be honest, there are some elements to this game which are not good. And a lot of the not good elements you can fix with mods. Like the lack of decorations, for example. I've decided to go from the staff area to doing the entrance because I want to have a bit of a rethink about how I'm laying stuff out. Because just thinking about all the different elements that need to sort of go in there, I'm like, actually, maybe I need to change the shape of this. So I'm like, let's kind of build the entrance area. I want to kind of put in a couple of like planted areas here. Same with over here. That one would be a bit of a big planted area, but that's okay. Oh, the paving tool in this game is so badly behaved at times. I do. These rounded ones, I'm just going to put like singular trees in. But we're just going to pick some really big ones. Obviously, there'll be sort of fountains and stuff here. This is just going to be the guest plaza, really. I do want to have some like flagpoles on the way towards the park. I'm thinking of using the aquarium one for that. Aquarium? Lagoon, sorry. Okay. So, yeah, all these little areas here, these will just be gardens. Jurassic Jaws parking lot is already laid out. I'm just not going to make it on stream because that shit takes forever and doesn't make for interesting content. That being said, I know that this doesn't really make for interesting content, but you know, the first streams usually are a bit short on dinosaurs because they're usually lots of modifications and stuff. I'll tidy this path thing up at another point. I just want to start actually putting stuff in. Big trees. I do have a couple in the decorations mods. That might be too big. I think that's too big of a tree. I'm thinking we might restrict that to using that in like enclosures. So I'm thinking let's instead do something more of this size. I think something of this size I think is more suitable. We have been robbed of the big tree. I mean, I can't believe it took them so long to give us placeable trees back, frankly. It was ridiculous that it took them... What was it? It wasn't the first update either, was it? It was a couple of updates. We had to wait to get the big tree back. Or to get any placeable trees back. We will also put a slightly different colour one in. I think we will swap out that one for a autumnal one. That's better. Right, now. I think the actual entrance is there. And obviously we'll do the big grand Jurassic Park gates. There we are. I'm wondering if either side we have these mural walls. I think that works quite nicely. So that is our entrance. I'm wondering what path to use. Maybe have that colour path for like paving that's inside the park. Yeah, waterfalls. Natural lagoons in JWE3. Yeah, I have been seeing there's been quite a lot of interesting conversation about Jurassic World Evolution 3 and sort of what it should and should not have lately. Because I've seen quite a range of opinion. I'll be honest, I don't think baby dinosaurs... I don't think baby dinosaurs are something I would want it to have. And I don't think that they will even be a thing. I think these work quite nicely as ticket officers. Have one there. And about there. Okay, so those are our ticket offices. Do a different building, it's too small. Well, for a ticket office, you don't need to have it big, and I've always inferred that there's sort of these are subterranean in some nature. So I think they work well as a ticket office. I don't think there's a better ticket office building that looks, nice. You could say maybe the maybe something like the where are they? Oh, they're not classified as that, are they? They're classified under here. Maybe something like this would work, but I think that actually is too big for a ticket office. So, and I also don't think it looks very guest friendly. So I'm going to use these. I think we are going to have to extend that perimeter fence. Where do I extend that to? Yeah. Did that just go straight up there? It did. Yeah, something like that. And then I'm thinking, where are those lagoon flagpoles? So not have them down the center line, but have them on there. Maybe move these ones up slightly. Yeah, because obviously the area along the road, that will be walled off. Something that doesn't make sense to me is when YouTubers complain when something isn't straight, when the angle snap is right there and they're placing it in a place where it makes sense for the angle snap. I mean, it is like literally one of my biggest tips for playing on this game is to literally make sure you build on an angle snap. It's not difficult to do. Just build it on the angle snap. something. It will be something like that, and then obviously every now and then, probably like wherever the car parks are. So because of this road, we'll actually get rid of. So this will be like one part of a car park, and then we'll have like a little guest path kind of going down the middle. And that will lead to here, and then we'll have like a gap in that wall. But that will take a while to figure out. I want to get like the major stuff in. Ah, hello Dane. I was hoping you would stay asleep. Dane came back from a music concert that he had yesterday and was knackered, so I thought I would let him sleep. But he has woken, it seems. He went to go and see there we go, Man with a Mission. Thank you. I did not know the band. I know the band. He told me earlier, but I could not remember. I don't know if anyone has heard of that band. I have not heard of that band. When he said it to me, I was like, are they a good band? I have no idea who this band is. Ah, Smaug knows of them. Good. I'm so glad someone else knows who they are. We're gonna have to put in a lot of guest areas here, I think. Actually, let's change this up a bit. Okay, we're also going to have trees planted down. Wrong button. Trees planted in here. Or something of that nature. And then we'll make these guest areas. Let's put them in a different color. Because otherwise I will just not remember. And we'll do something similar down here. There we go. Your music taste is mixed. My music taste is all over the show. I mean, I can't even... I don't think I could even describe it. So... I know how that feels. I just had an idea. What if you turned on wild capture frequency and randomized the dinosaurs you got? It doesn't really go in line with kind of this being a planned park, really, does it? That being said, I did want to do an experiment at some point to do like a wild capture park and just see what we end up with. But one of the problems I've noticed, because Evo tried it, didn't she? And she just ended up with the same dinosaurs over and over again. I don't think the wild capture system works 100% perfectly. Yeah, okay, that's a little more. That's a little more with it. So, something I think that we're going to have to do to allow staff to access the enclosures is, I think the staff sort of ACU/staff roads are going to have to be around the outside of the park. So all the enclosures, I think, we're going to have on the outer edges of the park. I think that might have to be the way we do it. Yes, it will need some seating. You could also split the park in half with the staff located in the centre. Oh, I get you. Like have a staff area in the very middle and have the enclosures around that, like a donut. I think maybe a combination of the two. Like have a staff area in the middle, but also have a staff road around the outside. That way, I think we have the most possibilities. Right, so you enter said park. What's the first thing? What's the first thing we put after you go through the gates? Probably a gift shop. You always want to have the gift... Oh no, gift shops you have are the exits, which are going to be in a different place. So... what's going to be the first... Also, we've got to make sure we try and put some elevation in here. So I'm pondering having the staff areas higher than the guest areas. T-Rex, laugh out loud. The visitor center. That's probably a good bet, actually. A visitor center. Like, the visitors enter the park and go straight into a visitor center. I think I might double up on them. Okay, Central Road. Okay, so that's center line. So that's off by 1, off by 2. Let's go off by 2. And then we'll just line that up with that. And then we'll do the same thing with another one. So off by 2. And then line it up with the path. Because from here we can then have it going... see, the problem with these ones is that they don't have a back access. So I don't actually think they work very well as visitor centres. I think what we'll do is we'll resort to the classic innovation centre, because I think it's the best one for the job. I think it's the best of the sort of visitor structures for this particular role. A cool idea for an area would be a prison-inspired area which just has all the 5 dromaeosaurs. What have they done to warrant going into jail? That seems a bit harsh. 1, 2, curve. 1, 2, and curve. 1, 1, and curve. 1, 1, and curve. 1, curve. 1, and curve. Happy with that. So let's just quickly do a quick drawing of what the prevailing idea is. So somewhere sort of from this staff area, we're going to have a road which goes around the whole park. I think that's acceptable. Kind of goes around the whole park, roughly. And then, what, from the back side of the park? So somewhere around here, we then have another staff area as a donut in the middle. And then we can have enclosures off of the donut, but also off of the staff road. I think that makes sense. If any species deserves to be locked up, it's the compies. Yeah, the compies are deadly. So, if we're going to have oh, that's really not it along. I'm just going to draw in. So, that's the center line there. That's the center line of the park right there. So any staff donut needs to be kind of here. Potentially. Raptors are sentient, changed my mind. Well, they certainly are sentient these days. Looking at you, Blue. I just wanted to thicken up these paths a bit, because I think one is way too small. Yes, I know my guests are complaining. My guests literally complain about everything. The people that we have that come to our parks in this game complain so much. They're like the worst people. Tell you, some of them probably deserve to be eaten alive by the fucking velociraptors. Your safety is our #1 priority. Unless you're annoying or a Karen, in which case we'll feed you to the animals ourselves. Right, okay. If we're gonna have like a staff donut area, I think we could probably get away with having an enclosure behind this. I do also want to kind of lower everything else down. So like I want the staff path and road and stuff to be like higher than the rest of the park. So this will probably be like the only enclosure that's kind of at this level. Yes, I know, Atifa, thank you. I know it takes a while to build, and I know that it means we don't get to dinosaurs straight away. But that is unfortunately just what you have to put up with. So if we are going to have like a starting animal here at the back, I think it needs to be something, you know, kind of small, kind of family friendly. Your bearded dragon is giving you the side eye. What did you do to your bearded dragon to warrant said side eye? Is that a water level? No, it's not. It would take way too long to put these in. These sorts of things we're going to have to use sparingly, so... Actually, just going to put a couple of these murals in. And then from those murals, we can then put in an actual fence. Because like if you put like an actual fence next to one of these, it looks just really bizarre. But if you put one of these mural wall sections in, actually just helps to alleviate some of the Now the animal in here is not going to be particularly dangerous, so I think a singular fence section is perfectly fine. Yeah, I'm the same way as you, Kairu. I'm waiting to actually see a trailer of Rebirth, and then I'll decide if I want to go and see it. But that trailer is going to have to be so spectacularly good. Like, it has to be the greatest thing I've ever seen. Like... And somehow I seriously doubt they can pull off a trailer that looks as good as that, so... Okay. I think that's a decent size for a first enclosure for a small animal. Because, you know, it's not going to be a massive animal. And it's going to be a plant eater, so we won't need too much stuff messing around. That being said, what I am going to do okay, so actually, it probably makes more sense to put the gate in first. So behind every sort of dinosaur enclosure, we're going to have like a little area for the staff to look after that. Melissa, I am trying to keep up with the chat, but you are talking a lot and I am having to build, otherwise nothing will get done. So please bear with me. You want Brontosaurus to be in Jurassic World Evolution 3. It's kind of a boring animal though, isn't it? Isn't Brontosaurus just... It would just be like having a Patasaurus in the park. And I'm not really a massive fan of a Patasaurus either. So... I'm thinking for this one we can go with the slightly smaller gates. No, because if you want to get like a truck or something through, you're going to need a big gate. Okay. Star Trek Squared. That's a bit of a strange thing to shout, Philosopher. Brontosaurus is real, or rather, it is currently now. The genus is recognized as being its own genus again. How long that lasts for, who knows? Because Brontosaurus seems to be one of those dinosaur genuses that just like keeps going in and out of being a dinosaur and then not being a dinosaur, and then we decided it's a dinosaur again. Paleontologists just can't seem to make up their minds sometimes. Right. So, for each of our dinosaur enclosures, I want to try to come up with some sort of enrichment. So, depending on what animal we put in here, we need to figure out sort of something to give the animal that to keep it, entertained or amused, or perhaps something to provide a important aspect for its health, basically. And we also need to decide what we're going to put in here, in this particular enclosure. Brontosaurus is the Pluto of dinosaurs. That's a very good way of saying it, Righteous Ham. just as a strict, opinion, Pluto is a planet. It will always be a planet to me, and to hell with Mr. Neil deGrasse Tyson, who defends it not being a planet. I mean, the fact that him trying to make it not a planet completely ruins so many rhymes and stuff we all learn at school for learning the bodies of our solar system. So screw him and screw making Pluto not a planet. That's how dare he? Okay, so definitely a herbivore in here, Atifa, because obviously we've got low walls. Actually, I've just realised I've been an idiot and I'm using the wrong sort of wall here. Well, actually, I'm... If I line that with rocks... Do we think it's safe enough? You can still see in, but it stops the dinosaurs getting too close. Like natural protection. I think that makes sense. I've just remembered I've got those glass wall sections, so... Troodos is... I do know that Troodos is not really considered a valid genus of dinosaur anymore. Although, just this month, a new species of... or new genus of Troodontid has been recently discovered. It was on one of the websites I look at for paleontology news when it happens. In fact, we've had quite a few discoveries this month. Actually, they've discovered a new abeliosaurid as well. So, yes, but let's pick on a species for this particular enclosure. It has to be. Let's save. It has to be not something too big, because we got small, low, limited fencing here and stuff. Something herbivorous, something relatively family friendly. So let's go have a look. See what we can find. Have a baby Tyrannosaurus. Nanotyrannus is actually one of those dinosaurs I've always thought Jurassic World Evolution would bring into the game, just because there's so little of it that they could just pop it in. Yeah, all of these very small animals, Lystrosaurus, Microceratus. These are things you can put in those cage pieces that we have. So I think something bigger than that at least. I'm also, tempted to consider species that don't often get used, species that we might not necessarily use too much. Minmai. Minmai seems to be a good possibility for there. Let's just see what else is in here. I mean, I was thinking Dryo or Dracorex. All the other herbivores are kind of either too small to warrant it, because Homalocephale is really like a cage species, or too dangerous in nature for an enclosure like that. So, alright, let's go with Minmai. In fact, why don't we go with Minmai and Dracorex? We'll see how the two look together. Okay, Min Mai. Let's have a look for a nice skin. I think we'll do male and female pairings where appropriate. But I think for Min Mai, I think we'll just do the one skin. Is it me or is that sun position not very bright? That's a bit better. Right. Kind of like that pattern, mangrove forest and pelophylax. Works quite well. What other colours have we got here? Quite like the pink. Is there a... I quite like that. The Great Sandy Desert with Papyrana. I think that works quite well. Moldy potato. That's a bit harsh. You know, I think I am going to go with that. I quite like that combination of colour. Great Sandy Desert. And Papyrana. Okay, if we have Stiggy Moloch, not Stiggy, Dracorex. Dracorex or Dryo? Dryo is kind of the similar size. Okay, let's do Dryo. I feel like Dryo is one of those that we would have to have male and female skins for, because I feel like a herd of Dryos, you would need a male and some females. So... You terrorize the cats, Danielle. So if the Min Mai is like a tan pinkish colour, I think something a little bit more distinct. Good God, that just... Oof. That just made my eyes hurt. Quite like this. Quite like this Yukon River green. Okay, so for the males... Females will give black too. So females, it's Yukon River and Pulkrana. And then the males will be... I do kind of like this lithobates. This... His pattern kind of looks like a weather forecast. It does. It looks like the Doppler weather radars. You know, it's simple, but I think that works. There's the female. There's the male. I think that works. So, Yukon River and Kalkorana. Okay. Let's go put them in the park. And then we need to make sure they can eat, and then we need to think of like an enrichment item for them. Like, what can we have as enrichment items that we can make with stuff in game? A mud pit. Actually, I just want to have a quick look at this enclosure of ours. How big is Minmai? Where is Minmai? Okay, so Minmai, relatively small, that's fine. Dryosaurus. Yeah, okay, I think the size of this is appropriate. I've just realized we need like a hatchery set up somewhere. I'm just gonna stick it down here for the moment. Obviously, we'll need to come up with like a hatchery place specifically. See you later, Righteous Ham. Thank you for tuning in. Great Sandy Desert and Papurana. How many of these should we have? I'm thinking 3. Let's have a pair. Again, I don't want to be greedy. I think a pair. And then, like, a herd of Dryosaurus. I'm just trying to think of, like, a cosmetic item. Sorry. Trying to think of, like, an enrichment item. Yukon and Alcarana is the male. And Yukon River and Pulkrana is the females. We'll do a standard 1:3 ratio. Maybe use Planet Zoo's enrichment for inspiration. Yeah, I mean, let's see what we've actually got. We've got something simple like salt licks, which we can easily make just by like using a different colored rock somewhere in the enclosure. Suppose we could try to make like a nesting area. We've got trees that we can try to use for something. I know that like plastic drums and stuff, animals like having things to like knock around. But that's probably gonna be more for like ceratopsians and stuff. Yeah, it's tricky. Okay, well, let's say for this enclosure, let's just make it easy. And let's give them like a couple of... What we'll do is we'll take some of these and sink them down a little bit. Give them a couple of, like, sleeping locations. For a shelter. Obviously we have to cover up the back sides of them, which is fine. Tell you what, I would love it if one of these mod makers that does actually make decorative sections, I would really love it if he did some like mock animal enrichment items. Shall we also let's also give them like a bit of like a salt lick sort of thing. I'm actually going to pause because I don't want them to starve to death. I am heavily basing this off of the sort of salt lick areas I've seen in the Isle. Could also like function as a bit of like a sand bathing sort of pit as well. And then what color for the salt lick? I'm thinking like this red desert rock works quite well as like salt lick rock, so we'll just put like maybe not huge chunks, but like smaller chunks. And then they have like a kind of like a salt lick sort of thing. Maybe the restroom could work as a shelter. So one of the reasons I don't use the restrooms as shelters is I use restrooms in beach-style enclosures as like decorative stuff. Wouldn't the Mediterranean rocks work better? Let's have a look. I don't think so. I actually think the red rocks of the desert work better. Because then it's like that Himalayan red salt. Which I could easily imagine would be acceptable. Right. What do they eat? Ground nuts and ground fruit. And ground fiber and ground leaf. So, two very different requirements here. Ground leaf, ground fruit, ground nut. So grassland shrubs would do it quite nicely. So just going to place some initial ones down, since we are almost at the end of the stream, but I just want to make sure that these animals can actually eat. So when we come to decorate the rest of this enclosure next stream, we can get it done. Yeah, and then obviously we'll have rocks along the backside of the water. We'll have a fountain in here as well to keep the water clean. And obviously we will need to put in like the placeable foliage. But as long as there's stuff for them to eat... Dinosaurs can't go extinct a second. Can we have a waterfall, you know, like Great Falls in the Isle? Well, I'm thinking if this staff area is going to be so much higher than the rest of the park, we could probably have like some waterfalls coming out from where this staff area is, going down into some enclosures. Yes, Melissa, you can. You can ask me a question since we're coming up to just the end of the stream. Yes, I am going to end it in a second, Atifa, but I'm going to try and do what I did this week, next week as well. So do a stream on Friday and do a stream on Sundays. I kind of like how much I can get done with double streams. I won't be doing this park every stream because A, it takes longer to build them, and B, I kind of need to rearrange some things, so it might take a while. So Friday, I'm thinking might continue with Subnautica, since we haven't done a Subnautica stream in a while, and I kind of want to try and get some more of the story done. So next Friday, Subnautica stream, and then next Sunday, the Jurassic World stream, we will be going back to the Isla Sodor Park, which needs to be finished up, and we'll do some more of that on stream. But yeah, next Friday we'll play some Subnautica. I'm just going to wait for Melissa to ask her question because I don't want to cut her off before I answer it. Unless she has already gone, but I shall give her a second. I do want to thank everyone for tuning in today. I know it's been a bit of a more sluggish stream because obviously we're trying to get some realistic stuff built. And those sorts of park are never quick to make. I think Melissa might have gone already. Well, Melissa, if I don't catch you, do put your question in the comments and I'll answer it there. But for everybody else, thank you for tuning in. See you on Friday. There's a video ready to go on, I think it's Wednesday as well. So yeah, I will see you guys next week. And until then, stay safe and good night.